Hi, this is Mr. Long back again with chapters 4 and 5 of The Sleeping Giant of Goll. Here we go, chapter 4. Welcome to Panjabar, excuse me. The submarine rumbled out onto the beach and stopped on the sand. Pop! Everyone piled out of the top hatch. Before them stretched a row of small hills. Beyond that was a range of larger hills. Beyond that were even taller hills. As far as the eye could see, everything was dusty, brown, and smooth. Panjabar seems kind of boring, Neil said. Let us hope it stays boring, Max chirped, but this is Droon. Anything can happen. Galen turned to the ship, uttered a short command, and the ship rumbled back into the water. Kia scanned the hills. Then she took a deep breath and clutched her feather necklace. Lord Spar is somewhere in these hills, she said. I can feel him nearby. Let's find him. For the next hour, the small band climbed through narrow passes that ran between the hillsides. From one range to another, the 6 travelers slowly wormed their way upward. Entering one steep pass, Galen stopped. He turned his head slowly. He narrowed his eyes. There, he murmured, that shadowy hole in the rocks. There is something in there. Max began to quake. What is it, Master? Galen gazed deeply into the shadows. A cave. And he is there. He turned to Kia. Princess, he said, I sense something evil in there. If what I feel in my heart is true, Spar's plan is even more terrible than we thought. I must go in. You and the others wait here. Be careful, Master, Max tittered. The wizard smiled at the spider troll. My time has not yet come, my friend. Don't worry. With that, Galen wrapped his robe around him and entered the cave alone. Strange sounds echoed suddenly from the hills above, low rumbling sounds. Then the air went still. Silence fell over the pass. That's weird, Julie whispered. It's like all the sound in the world just stopped. Neil squinted up at the hills. Do you think it's Lord Spar? Whoosh! A burst of wind swept up from the dusty ground. It spun faster and faster. It coiled around in the air, forming a dark, whirling funnel. Yikes, said Eric, shielding his eyes. Let's get out of here. But the wind struck quickly. As if it were alive, the coil of spinning dust leaped upon the 5 friends, scattering them. Take cover, everyone, Kia cried out, grabbing Max and pulling him to the shelter of an overhanging rock. Julie tried to join them, but stumbled on the rocky ground. She struggled to her feet, but the funnel tore after her, whirling and spitting dust. Help, she cried, trying to outrun the wind. Neil bolted from his hiding place. Julie! Kia, too, leaped from shelter to face the furious funnel. She clutched her feather and cried out, but her words were lost in the fury of the storm. The wind swept around Julie, surrounding her. It's got me, she shrieked. The wind pulled her inside itself. Eric stumbled toward the funnel, his arms outstretched. Julie, here, he shouted. The spinning dust stung his face. I'm coming, he cried. But the wind wouldn't let him come. The twister spun Julie around and... around. It roared up to the side of the pass. Up and up it went, spinning Julie away with it until her cries were lost. Julie, Eric shouted for the last time. A moment later, the dark funnel was gone. The wind in the pass died down to nothing. The storm was over, and Julie was gone. Chapter 5. A Hidden Village. The storm went that way, Kia said, pointing to the highest range of hills. We have to find Julie, and we need to hurry. Come on. What about Galen? Neil asked. He is Droon's greatest wizard, said Max, already scampering up the hillside after Kia. Galen Longbeard can take care of himself. The 4 friends raced into the hills, following the track of the dust storm. Hill after hill they climbed. Higher and higher they went. What if we can't find her, said Neil, breathing hard as he scrambled up a rocky hillside. No way, Eric snapped. Julie's special. We'll find her. We've got to keep going. We've got to. Max spun a spider silk rope and swung from ledge to ledge, moving ahead of everyone. Suddenly he stopped and pointed his pug nose in the air. He sniffed. Smoke, he said. Smoke usually means people, said Kia. Neil nodded. Be careful. Careful is good. They followed the smoky smell until they came to a break between the hills. Clustered along one hillside were dozens of small houses. They had domed roofs made of dried mud. Smoke wafted up from their chimneys. A village, Eric whispered. In the exact center of the village was a large round platform. It looked like a giant wheel lying on its side. In the exact center of the wheel was Julie, Kia said. Surrounding Julie were hundreds of small creatures covered in red fur. Each one was about 3 feet tall. They had dog-like snouts covered with whiskers, except for the small black noses at the tips. Their ears were pointy and very long. "She's a prisoner," Neil said, "and we're outnumbered. Any ideas?" "Perhaps a little magic will help," Kia said. She waved her hand over the 4 of them. The air turned a misty pink. "The fog of invisibility," Max chirped. "Galen taught you well, Princess. Come, let us enter." Hidden by the pink fog, the 4 friends crept quietly into the village. No one saw them. The largest of the strange furry creatures stepped across the giant wheel to Julie. "Now," he said, curling and uncurling his nose whiskers. "Now you will get it." Julie shook her head. "No, please." Eric stole a look at Neil and Kia. "She's in trouble. We need to get her out of there. Now." "Bring the black helmet," the furry creature commanded. "I, Batamoji, king of the Ubja, shall put it right on her head." Eric couldn't stand it anymore. He jumped out of the pink fog and ran up to the platform. "Stop," he shouted at the top of his lungs. "Julie is our friend. You leave her alone." All the pointy-eared creatures turned. Julie blinked over their heads. "Eric?" The small furry king turned. "Who is Eric?" "I am Eric," said Eric, "and if you hurt Julie, we'll be all over you like... Neil jumped out of the fog next to Eric. "Like cheese on pizza." "So don't hurt her," Kia shouted, jumping out of the fog with Max. Batamoji tumbled backward. "Hurt her? But Julie is our new princess. She has come to help our people. We are going to crown her." Eric frowned. "What? Oh, sure, crown her. With something nasty called the Black Helmet?" The fox-eared leader held up the shiny helmet. It was covered with beautiful jewels. "Black goes better with her hair," the king said. "We have a nice pink helmet and 2 powder blue ones, but I think black is her color." Eric blinked. Well?" Julie laughed and jumped over to her friends. "These people aren't hurting me," she said. "The storm set me down in their village. They've been really, really nice. And it's just like my dream." She turned to the crowd. "Everybody meet Eric, Neil, Kia, and Max." The furry king bowed nearly to the ground. "I am Batamoji, king of the Ubja. We are the mole people of the Panjabar Hills." Batamoji bowed again to Kia. "Welcome, princess. All of Drew knows you, but there is another princess here too, Princess Julie." He handed Julie the shiny black helmet encrusted with jewels. Julie laughed. "I'm really just a regular kid." The king tapped his furry head. "All mole people can sense things. We can tell when someone has powers even before they do. And believe me, Julie, you have powers. You will help us. You'll see." Julie blinked as she slid the jeweled helmet on. "Cool," she said, "but I still don't believe it." Kia turned to the fox-eared, red-furred king. "We have come here to find Lord Spar." The mole people gasped and pulled back. "Spar," Batamoji snorted with anger. "We do not like him. We are peaceful people, but Spar demanded we show him where Zor's tomb is. We have known for ages that Zor lies in the ancient realm of Goll. It is right under these hills. When my brothers refused to tell Spar, he took them away. He said that he would hurt them if I didn't show him where the giant was buried." Batamoji sniffled and wiped his snout on his furry wrist. "I had to do what he asked." "That's why we're here," Eric said. "We need to stop Spar from bringing Zor back to life." The Ubja king sniffled once more, then stood up straight. "Then I will show you where Spar and his nins are. Yes, but first we feast. Come, my people. Click, clack." The Ubja people laughed softly to themselves and scurried away on their short legs. Moments later they were back, carrying a flat, round bread as big as the big wooden wheel itself. "Flat bread baked with red sauce and cheese," Batamoji said. "We like them big. Sometimes we sit in the middle and eat our way to the crust." Neil's mouth dropped open. He stared at Eric. "Whoa, I guess I did dream of Droon last night, only I didn't know it." Eric smiled as he chewed. He wondered if he too had dreamed of Droon without knowing it. "Eat up," Batamoji urged. "Our mission is dangerous." He ripped off a piece of cheesy bread and, bowing his head, handed it to Princess Julie. "And Lord Spar will do everything he can to stop us." That's the end of chapter 5. Next time, we'll start here on chapter 6. Bye for now.